This is with a really, really cool sneaker business. These guys are like the friendliest, nicest people in the world.
And they're only like, what, 18 and 19 or something? They're just like killing it.
Just young killers, like it is actually insane. You can't let fear dictate your life. And you have to take leaps of faith sometimes. And I know that's probably the most cliche movie line you'll ever hear in your life, but look, it's true. When I was building out this team, I didn't want anybody to quit their job at another agency and come over here, and then all of a sudden, I have to sack them after 3 months because I wasn't able to generate enough return. Yeah. Every business has to actually make that decision, and you're in that stage of now, taking that next step further and building that business. And it's really important, of course, that you have a outlined sales funnel that's generating sales each day that you can rely on, which is what we're building here. But you have to have confidence in that first, and then you got to take the leap, and it has to be done, or else you will stay in this position for the next 5 to 10 years, and then it could fizzle away. Or you could capitalize on what you've got going now, and you could start to, in the next 5, 10 years, add more things to this business. But regardless, you have to make the decision. And yeah, hiring people is one of those scary things, but take the hit 3 steps back to take 10 steps forward. Welcome to another video. We're sitting here with Audrey and Jeremiah. These guys are the owners of Custom Sneaker Co. We started working with you guys literally in January. Yeah. We started talking with each other in September, which is really, really cool. These guys have built an incredible business, and they have, what's the current team at now?
It's just me, Jeremiah, my mom.
Couple casuals.
Couple of friends. Yeah, it's really small.
Yeah. So sick. We literally just did a meeting before. We kind of just did like a catch up. So you guys are based in Melbourne. So they finally got to fly up to the Gold Coast, meet our team, which you probably would have seen in one of our other videos. But this is a really cool opportunity because a lot of the guys that follow me, as we were already talking about, are in this stage of either building their business, like trying to create an e-commerce store, or they've created it, they've got a great product and they're trying to scale it up. And it's interesting because we've got a lot of clients that are doing the millions a month and the crazy numbers, and you guys are doing crazy numbers too, but you're on a different stage. Like that kind of stage of you're out of that starting point and now you're in that growth mode. I think before we jump in, it'd be really kind of cool to learn a little bit about how maybe you got into this business. How the heck did this all start?
It actually started with a snow trip to Mount Buller. We went with my family that visited from overseas. And they're really business minded and pretty much pushed us. They were like, you guys should do a business, and we never actually thought anything of it. But we were like, we love sneakers, we love art, why don't we just do something like that? There's nothing in Australia like that exists. There's no market here, it was pretty much invisible. So it was, that's pretty much how it started. It's just, we literally, that night at the snow trip, we brainstormed business names. We brainstormed, we made a business plan and we didn't even know how to write one. We just wrote a short summary of what we were gonna do, who we were gonna target. It was really exciting.
It's an interesting thing as well, even when you're starting a business, I learned really quickly, okay, I'm looking at all these guys that I wanted to kind of replicate off of, but when they started, they look like they have it all figured out now, but when they started, no plan at all. And I kind of quickly learned that there's no right way to do things, there's just what's right for you. So you kind of have to find that little groove that worked for you guys as well, eh? Who was the main designer, and who was the one that's kind of on the source of the business and sourcing the products and stuff like that?
When we first started, I think it was both equal. Me and Jeremiah, we would do 50-50. So we would do the creative side together and the business side together, because we were at a stage of just learning. We really didn't know what we were doing again, because it was a side hustle. It started off as a side hustle. And you guys working full-time jobs as well as that?
Now. Where were you working?
I was studying nursing.
I was doing real estate.
Okay, so.
And we just pretty much had to learn to adapt when things started getting a little bit more hectic. I actually quit my nursing course 2 months before graduating. He had to quit his real estate thing, and we were just let's just go ride this out and do it.
That was a scary.
It was a massive sacrifice for us, considering we had kind of our lives almost figured out. And then as soon as the workload came up, we were just we should just just go full steam ahead.
Yeah.
And just figure out everything, just go with the flows.
That's an interesting one. Hey, was it because obviously it started as a side hustle, was the goal at that point for you guys to jump into something full time, or were you kind of happy where you were?
We were kind of happy with where we were, I reckon. We did have our plan A's, which was for me nursing and for Jeremiah real estate.
Yeah.
But we had no issue at all. If it was going to become a full-time thing, that would be the biggest bonus. Like, our plan B pretty much became our plan A, and that's like really something we're proud of.
That. I think it makes it easier as well when you've got, and the most cliche statement is like, do what you love and never work a day in your life kind of thing. But when you're starting a business, like at the beginning, and you don't have a passion, like all those dudes that go out and say, I just grinded for 10 years and then I got the Ferrari. I don't know anybody that did that, because like you can't do work that you hate for 10 years and then become rich. Like to do a side hustle, you're working from when you get home after work from 5 to like 10. But to do that means that you actually really enjoy because it's something you want to do. Is that what made that starting point easier for you guys?
Definitely. We would. I was working as a swim teacher and he was working at glue store. So he was more in retail. We would come home and pretty much spend, as you said, like 5 to 2 sometimes. Like it was really
crazy.
We spent so much time on our website. Everything like on our website, we didn't get like a web designer. Like we did everything at first.
When we were having that first conversation, you guys were literally like, I was like, great website guys, this is phenomenal. You're like, yeah, we designed it.
I know.
It's nuts.
It's good though. I like having things a certain way. So
we haven't even kind of run through what Custom Sneaker Co is. Air Force Ones, your own design. Break it down.
So we pretty much customize sneakers, specifically Air Force Ones, and we just have a massive range of designs and colors. I think the reason why we started at first was to because when you go into a store at like Nike or Foot Locker or something, everything's kind of just boring or in one color, and we wanted people to be able to express themselves in a different way, and through art, by making wearable art.
100%. Where did the inspiration come from? Where does the inspiration come from with the particular art pieces? Because some of them are like, you got Disney on them, then you got like butterflies on the other side, then you've got just like cool color ranges. Like, where does all the inspiration come from? Just your creative minds?
We actually spend a lot of time just at home on our phones, just kind of creating designs and mock-ups. Is what we call it, and we basically just put a couple of designs together, and then we're just like, do we like it? Do we want to release it? Will it sell?
And we also see like what people want as well. So sometimes it'll take 10 people to be like, I want Pop Smoke shoes.
Oh really?
And we'll be like, okay, here's your Pop Smoke shoe.
Right. So it's kind of with the demand too that you give. That's sick.
It's because like we have like a poll that we put up on our Instagram just to see what the audience wants. A lot of people want certain things, and so things that we don't even have out yet, a lot of people want it. So then when we release it, it becomes like the next big thing.
Right. That's really cool. Obviously, everybody knows that like social media plays a massive factor, especially when you're with e-commerce, like in that world. But when you're talking about polls and getting an idea around the product range that you might want to bring out, that's huge. How big of a part has social media played for Custom Sneaker Co?
Massive
part. Instagram,
it's everything.
It was everything.
Literally. Organic posting. But then, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I fanboy over your TikToks. I think they're the coolest things ever. How's that platform been?
That's been really good. It's been really difficult finding the time to be able to step out from, because as we said, it's just me and Jeremiah doing the shoes. So it's hard to find the time to just pull out our phone and dedicate that hour to creating good content. But that's definitely something we want to do more in the future.
100%.
It's also hit or miss as well when it comes to TikTok. And then once you go into the For You page, it's like
oh my god,
I know,
best feeling ever, because like you just see like a whole bunch of people are liking and following, and that's just when like
I've seen TikTok has like made a lot of businesses
just thrive.
I know,
so many.
It's crazy.
So we started the business, it was 2020 when it kind of came to a little bit more to fruition. Early January when you guys started getting a bit of sales. At what point did it really start picking up throughout 2020 that you guys were like, oh shit, this is getting serious?
I think it was June when I started playing around with ads. We started releasing more designs. We started collaborating with more influencers and stuff like that. That's when it started to really pick off. We would get like 2 orders a week.
Yep.
And then it would be 2 orders a day, and that just gradually kept growing and growing.
Yeah. Once COVID hit, everything completely changed.
Really?
Yeah, for a lot of people, like especially like some of my friends, they said that their lives changed for the worst, and it was horrible to hear that. And for us, it kind of just made our lives a bit easier, because like a lot of people were at home, and so there would just be online shopping. And that's when our orders just came to like 10 orders a day.
That's
and higher.
And we also, with COVID, we also had a lot of time to dedicate into our business as well. So
forced to stay at home.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad thing though. We loved it. So yeah.
That's really interesting. E-com, the industry itself boomed. I think the overall industry boomed like 80%. Like the industry, which is like crazy.
Yeah, I heard that.
Everyone was just forced to go online.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no other choice. At what point? And it's kind of interesting because you talked a little bit about the ads. Obviously, that's why we're here today, because that's what we do. At what point were you kind of like getting to that stage where the business was, because the business was doing really well when we started talking. I remember that. And at what point were you kind of realizing, and business owners get to the stage, this is getting too much?
Pretty much when we first started speaking.
Talking with me.
So it was September. We were like, I think June, July, and August, they were really crazy for us, because we, as I said, we went from 2 orders to like 20 orders sometimes in a day. It was a lot. But I think that's when we reached out to you and we needed some help.
Which is crazy.
I know.
So that process is scary, because I don't know what it's like. Like, I'm on the other side where I just think, oh, this is cool, like sick business, really cool people, I get to work with them. But on your side, is that a scary process to hand over that rein, or talk about handing over the reins?
Yes, it definitely was, because it's a bit hard, because like we built this business, we built the custom sneaker code literally from nothing, from ourselves. So it was a bit scary to just hand it over to someone, but at the same time, like that's where every business goes in life, and you just have to learn to trust them and work as a team. It definitely has taken a lot off of our shoulders. 100%.
That's great to hear. Do you talk to other people as well at the same time, like other agencies, to see what else is out there?
We did, but we weren't really like feeling their vibes.
Really?
So we just were like, I don't know how we actually stumbled across you. I think it was an ad.
Probably was.
It was an ad.
And
then I checked your Instagram out. I was like, oh my gosh, these guys look really cool. So
And it's cool because like we're a young team. Like a lot of our clients are like 25 to 35. Like a lot of them. You guys are much younger than that as well, which is crazy. But it's interesting how like what you put out is what you attract, kind of thing. So like we've got the whole young team and everything like that. Like the oldest person in our agency is 25.
Wow, that's
which is nuts.
And
that's old. But it's funny because like it's like that law of attraction kind of thing, where you guys, I assume, because it was obviously me that you first spoke to on the call, but I think it was because I'm only 23, you know, back then I was like 22 in September, so it was I think we're on the same level. A little bit.
And we could, I think because of the age, we were able to like connect a lot easier as well. And I think that was like one of the biggest things that made me trust you guys as well. You gave us a lot of advice. And I really liked the vibe, the family vibe. So it was like, cool.
I was chewing your ear off for the first 3 months. Before you guys even started working with us, I was chewing your ear off.
I know.
That was sick.
It was really good.
But it's cool when you geek out over it. It's fun. It's easy. But that's an interesting point, because then in September we had that 3-month period where we didn't want to get started with the ads. We were just kind of talking because you had experienced a big issue that a lot of business owners first experience when they start scaling heavily, which is managing the scale. You guys had a big backlog of orders. How was that whole process?
It was really stressful because during COVID, we also had to rely on our retailers, but because COVID happened, there was delays with shipments. So we had like 300 orders that were backed up for like 4 to 5 weeks.
Crazy.
And it wasn't on our end anything that we could control. It was more of us getting that stock in time. That was like,
which is a big issue a lot of people ran into as well with COVID, getting stock.
Because the other reason, like all the postal services were just like shut.
You couldn't do anything. So then, did you get help in, or was it just you guys doing that?
It was still just, it was just us.
That's crazy. Got on top of it. The business itself kind of took that first turn where we were even talking about it in our meeting, where every business isn't just linear. It's like a roller coaster ride, and we're kind of learning that a little bit now. So And we actually, when we first started the agency itself, it was the same kind of like graph of increase in revenue, and you kind of reach your first, how am I going to manage all this? And then we had the same drop as well, because we had reached, this number, and then I didn't have the team, so we had to kind of drop off, and it was a shock to the system.
Yeah, it definitely is.
How's it been now? Because then we started working with each other in January. Got on top of the backlog of orders. How's the process been now in 2021 of building that back up?
It's been really, I guess it's relieving. It's good to see some stability in our business and not just be a massive roller coaster. I mean, everything's going to go up and down at one point, but it's been pretty relieving.
Yeah, and it's been steady increasing. You guys have just absolutely smashed it.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
It's been crazy. What's the, if you were to say, out of kind of everything that we've already talked about, the biggest maybe lesson that you guys might have taken away from either the conceptualizing of the business itself, running into the biggest, the drop of the business at that one stage, or kind of now building out, because we're in the process of building out the team, which is an interesting topic. What's been the biggest kind of learning lesson that you've taken away?
Pretty much to just trust the process. Things will just start to fall into place, and it is scary. Like, it is a big risk, but you just have to put your trust into everything that you do, and it'll work out if you put the hard work in.
I love that. That's awesome. And now the next stages for Custom Sneaker Co. We've got the plans of moving into our own warehouse, building out the team, which is the next, I would say, struggle. I know firsthand how crazy that is, managing all the guys. It's the one of the things that I would say is the most challenging, but also the most rewarding. When you get to work with dope people, it's the sickest feeling in the world. And you guys are having a little bit of a taste of that right now, right? You've got a couple part-timers in? That's sick. And they're doing the picking and packing, or?
They're doing the shoes.
Crazy. So there's so much to be achieved.
I know, I'm really excited.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining and sitting in with this interview. This has been awesome. Heaps more to come. Check out the links to Audrey and Jeremiah's business, Custom Sneaker Co. Leave everything in the description. We'll see you in the next video.